Hi guys, Stacey Graves here for Whimsy Stamps. We're going to be creating a card today. We're going to be using these scallop circle frame dies, and then we're also going, and I cut that out of some alcohol marker friendly cardstock, and then we'll be using the Bare Bubbles Clearly Whimsy stamps. Getting tongue tied. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this out. I'm going to use Memento Desert Sand ink. If you haven't been to my channel, what I'll be mainly probably sharing here is no line coloring. Doesn't mean I won't use other forms of coloring, but that's what I like to do. So I'm really happy to be here and that Whimsy is going to allow me to show that. Now what I did was I inked up the image, but I also wiped away the ink from the bubbles because I'm going to be taking the alcohol markers, some Copics, and then we'll be adding some different colors and making them look kind of iridescent. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting with my darkest marker and I'm going to work to my lightest. I chose warm grays for the bear, and then I chose some earth tones too for its belly and its snout. I live in California and we have black bears here, so they're kind of near and dear to my heart. And I'm just going to try to lay the majority of my shadows to the left hand side, so pick your light source and you know, just put your shading to one side and it'll help. If you have an area where you're going to have shading like on the tail, I really wanted, because I would feel like that tail would need more shading right up against its rump, you can leave a little bit of a gap in the line coloring, because when that line disappears your image will turn into a big blob if you don't allow for those things. I'm going to be coming back in with colored pencils and that refining shading and adding details. So what's fun about this type of coloring for me is my marker blends don't have to be super smooth. They can be messy. They will show through, but we're going to go over them with colored pencils. And so this little doggy, it's so cute, was a little more, it's so small it's hard to get a lot of shading in it with the markers. The pencils will allow for more detailed shading. It's going to add texture, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that because I'm going to bring them here in just a minute. And we're going to lay down the oh, I have to do the bubble wand. And that bubble wand would show the entire ring of it if the bubbles see through. So, and then the ground, hey, I'm not an accurate realism colorist, but I just feel like if you get some shadows underneath your images, you put some on the ground. And I went in with my lightest marker and I laid out my shadows first, then I went with my darkest, then I'm going my mid and light. I feel like just adding the shading underneath your images and then a little bit on the ground, because you know, a field or grass would have some dips, and then I take a next really light color to put and blend the very horizon out so that it looks like it goes further out. And I think it kind of achieves that look. And then here with the bubbles, so I'm using 3 different very desaturated colors. So if you work with Copics, you know that your zeros, your 00s, your 000s are there's hardly any pigment in them. It's mainly just the alcohol colorless splendor base. And that's what is in that 0 marker is color splendor. So I'm taking those colors, I'm going around the outside. I don't have stamped lines there. I think circles are pretty simple to lay down, and that's all I'm doing. And then I'm immediately taking that color splendor and kind of pushing all that ink out. What it's doing is softening those lines and kind of making them hazy. But keep in mind that when you do that, they're going to become a little bit larger than what you originally laid the lines down as, your bubble as. And you just push that. And that's really what a colorless blender does. It's not so much for blending as it is for lifting, or you kind of just, it pushes the ink. Like if you come from one side and you put the color splendor down, it'll push it over. I'm sure a lot of you already know that, because one of the things I was really excited about being on the design team is Whimsy's images are fantastic for coloring, and I was so stoked. I love their images. I love their products. Some of these bubbles I'm just going in with one color or even two. I believe I laid one down where it was a solid dot, and then when I put the color splendor, it's going to push it and create that illusion of like a halo around the bubble's edge. And if you haven't tried this before, or it looks intimidating, this is the first time I sat down and wanted to make some semi-realistic bubbles. And I thought, I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to take my color splendor. I'm going to push it, and it worked. So experiment with your coloring or products. I also took isopropyl alcohol to clean up the ink on my desk, so it didn't transfer to the image. Now I'm bringing in these pencils. Those are Faber-Castell Poloychromos pencils. I encourage people to use what you have with your coloring mediums. Make sure, if you have Prismacolor, use them. I use those all the time too. If you have, I'm drawing a blank right now. It's the one that they make a lot of different products. I think it starts with an A. Why I can't think of it, I don't know. If you have Crayola, use those. Just know that whatever pencils you're using, they're all different types of qualities, but they're all going to get the job done. And if you don't have a bunch of colored pencils, you have a graphite pencil, you can do shading with this with a graphite pencil. I've used black colored pencils. I use a lot of times just three that are a darker brown, a lighter brown, and a black, which you'll probably see me do. So, experiment with what you have. And here's where I'm going in and just laying down those shadows. So the colored pencil gives detail when you don't blend it out with any solvents. It adds depth. It adds texture, detail. The shading with the markers was not perfect, and it doesn't have to be, because those pencils are going to do all the heavy lifting for you. It's going to do all the work. And when I come back in here in a minute with a black colored pencil, I'm usually pretty light-handed with it, and I'll do it on even if you're doing florals and pinks, yellows, a black colored pencil can do a lot. You just have to be super sparing with it. And with a black bear, of course, it can come in much heavier, and so I'll use a bit more of it, but on the birds and whatnot, I'm not sure if I bring it in on that. We'll see, because it's been a while since I've made this card. I'm just now getting around to the voiceover. But yeah, they're just different. I picked out my colors based on what I was going to color the images with my Copics. And then all that shading from the Copics still shows through, right? But the colored pencils, I'm very light-handed with. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm not burnishing down the paper. And I'm just going in and I'm adding like little details. So when you do the details of eyes or any fine detail, make sure your pencil is sharp. And if you're coloring with your pencils and adding that shading in, and maybe the shading is not as tight as you would think, or you're actually looking like you're shading one area, but it's kind of shifted over, that means your pencil needs to be sharpened. And it happens all the time. And that's why I say it happens to me all the time. I think my pencils are sharp enough, and they're not. And then I'm just going to come in and add a little bit of detail to these little birds. These little blue birds is what I'm making them. And there's not a lot of area to shade. There's small images, but I think that adding some shading, and I'm using two different colored pencils. They're super dark blue and then a lighter blue. And what I do is I lay down the darker color, and then I'm using the lighter blue to kind of blend it out. And I'm going to do the same thing to the grass. Do you guys have this stamp set? Have you tried have you used it yet? Have you colored it up? I'm always encouraging people to use their products. Because I know us paper crafters do a lot of collecting, which I do. I'm guilty, but I've been really trying to make sure I use those products. And I try to use, bring out a new product all the time that I haven't used in my stash. That lighter color of like that yellow green, was using it to blend out some of the darker areas of the grass. And you can continually layer colored pencils, and that's what I was doing. The Faber-Castell are amazing at layering. Now I used the die set, Yay Word and Shadow die set, and I'd cut the shadow out of black and then the Yay out of the white cardstock, and I'd lay down those Y's just to make it easier. I'm sure you guys didn't want to see me glue the entire thing together. And I picked up that bone folder from Whimsy Stamps. That thing is amazing. I've heard other crafters say that, and I just haven't. Never had purchased one. It's worth it. If you don't have it, pick up one. I'm not sure, but when I purchased that one, it was on sale. So go look. It's worth it if you don't have one. It slides very smoothly and it scores wonderfully, and it doesn't leave any weird marks on your paper. I taped that frame down because it cuts out as two separate pieces. It's one die that cuts out as two separate pieces, and I just taped them together with some clear tape. But I'm going to layer it with another frame I'd cut out of that same die that's like a white glitter cardstock. And I debated popping it up with some foam tape and decided not to. And then I'm just going to glue the entire thing down to the card base. And I heat embossed the No Troubles, Only Bubbles. That's a sentiment from the stamp set on some black cardstock with white embossing powder, and just cut it down to that size. And then because there's two layers of cardstock there, it is raised up a tiny bit. So, but I still wanted the sentiments to be popped up. I love Whimsy's big, bold sentiments like that. They're so fun. And then I'm taking some shimmer onto the bubbles. And if you have one of these types of shimmer pins in your stash, because there's all different ones, I'm going to put some glossy accents over the top. And that's what's in that little precision tip bottle there. And I always take it to a side piece of paper, scratch paper, and squeeze out some of it because it gets bubbles in it, and I don't want to have to pop a bunch of bubbles when I lay these out. But all that shimmer that doesn't always show up unless you're in like studio lights or some bright light, when you add that clear glossy accents or whatever, I know there's other forms of this type of product, it really accentuates it so that you don't need those lights in order to see it. It's really a cool effect. And I think just little touches like this really make a card come to life. And here's our finished card. And there's the bubbles all dry. And then, you know, we've got the sentiments there and the cute image and the frame. And I just love how this came together. Thank you for having me. I'll see you guys again next time. And have a great day. Bye.